You really are sincerely missed when you are not about. May each day find you better, so you'll soon be well and out. Something Park Improvement District, Block Club. It's nice. Hello. This little card that was found kind of stuffed in under the insulation in the chimney. Just had my mate Aaron over. He studied architecture as well, and he's travelled all over the country learning natural building techniques. So I had him over here to just kind of, I don't know, show him the place and see what he reckons. He thinks it's wonderful, of course. Got some ideas of like what to do with various finishes. One of the things I really want to do, and he mentioned this as well and I hadn't even said anything, which is encouraging, was in areas like this where the walls have this kind of lovely sort of patina to them. I know it's hard to make out on the camera, but hang on, where is it more obvious? Kind of like here. And this isn't something I'll do over the entire house, but I'll do some like feature walls in it, is to scrape all the paint back and then just polyurethane over the top once it's kind of sanded and smoothed. So you kind of get, I don't know, as this paint comes away, there's just like these kind of layers of different colours, especially through here. It's just wonderful. So that was one of the cool ideas discussed. Yeah. It's gonna be a good time. Finding that card is kind of fortuitous, actually, now that I think about it. The sentiment contained therein. 2020 has continued to be very unkind to yours truly. I went out the other night, Saturday night, about 9 o'clock. Went out, left the house, drove my van. I was going to take my girlfriend's car because she is away at the moment and I can uses way less gas. And it's not full of valuable tools, as my van was. But I was running late and we've just got a single driveway and I would have had to like shuffle the vehicles around, and it was cold, and I've taken my van places before and it's always been fine. So I did have like an intuition that it was maybe risky on this particular night, but I, took my van anyway. Spirits were high. I was meeting a friend. So I drove to a nice part of town where I was meeting my friend, and it was a nice part of town, like nice, like not somewhere we'd ever feel scared walking around at night time. Went to this bar, had one drink over about an hour, and then came back out to my van, and it was gone. And my van apparently was stolen, along with all of my tools, pretty much all of them. There was some that were back at the house, some key ones, which I'm glad weren't taken, but for the most part, all of my tools gone now. So I've got to kind of reacquire those. I wasn't insured. I'm hopeful I can get the van back at least. Apparently it's pretty common for stolen vehicles to turn up. I just hope it's in okay condition. I've been working for a guy at the moment, and he has had his truck stolen twice. And hang on. He's had his truck stolen twice, and each time it's turned up. I think one time took a week, another time took a couple of weeks. It just sort of depends on how much petrol was in the van, in the vehicle. They just run it till the petrol runs out, and then they dump it. So hopefully I can get the van back, because I just put a brand new transmission in it. which cost as much as the bloody van. So I don't know. I don't want to talk figures, but it's a big hit. So whatever. I've got Alex's car to get around. It'll be warm enough soon and I can ride my bike, and vehicles are pretty cheap, and I've got a lot of work coming in at the moment, which is good. It's just tough to do it without a truck and a bunch of tools, but at the same time, Alex has a lot of the tools that I had, so when she's not using them on jobs, I can use hers, so it's going to be okay. But yeah, like, what the fuck? The feeling was unbelievable of just like coming out and just seeing my van just like not there. Like, it's just an empty space where my van used to be. And I fucking love that thing. And I don't know, maybe I was too attached. You know, maybe it's a lesson from the universe that I should, you know, fuck it, whatever. It was a really bizarre feeling. I was just really confused. This is my first, like, I've had things stolen from me before, but only once, really. Oh, twice. Got my bag pinched from the bird. Wasn't keeping an eye on it. Should have kept an eye on it, shouldn't I, hey? I love people. Love's probably a bit of a strong word. I have noted people, some people, have this thing where in time of loss, they see that as like the perfect time to give some unsolicited advice about like what you could have done differently, or, you know, what you need to do next time. And if you're one of those people who enjoys giving unsolicited advice, especially to those who have just suffered losses, I would just encourage you to think, just to think a little more deeply and practice a bit of empathy next time, and just try and appreciate what that other person's going through, and appreciate their thought process and how they're probably already beating themselves up and already thinking through all of the what ifs. And by you like contributing to that rather unproductive process, you're just not helping. So yeah, just a tidbit there that I've picked up from this process. No hard feelings towards anyone. I mean, you know, people are the way they are, well-meaning for the most part, and it's just annoying. I mean, also, I'm just a little bit grumpy because I've had my pride and joy and all of the tools that I've been working so hard over the last 4 months to collect. Good tools too, like things that I was going to be using for the next many years. Just gone. It's fucked. Pardon my French. But you know, we'll rebuild. I've already got a little support network here, which is fantastic. That's one of the things that I absolutely love about this city, is people have been through so much bullshit, and I don't think I know a single person who hasn't been a victim of crime multiple times. And I'm just lucky that it was a non-violent crime, and I'm sure the people that stole my stuff are not getting rich off it. They're probably, I don't know, feeding some kind of addiction or whatever. Yeah. So that's the sad news, super fans. That's the sad news. A lot of you probably already know this stuff, but yeah. So I put it out there and let you know that I'm okay. I have a pretty resilient kind of attitude towards these things. I did cry. There were about 6 pretty decent sized tears. I think 4 came out of this one, 2 out of this one. And felt pretty good actually. There's something kind of warming in here about crying. Not sure if you've done it before, but it's a sort of bittersweet process. The kind of the heaving, the sort of energy in it is I think it's really productive. Not if it's happening too much. You could probably look at some changes or get some help if it's happening all the time. But every now and then, there's bloody good reasons, and you're well within your rights, and you should, you know, let it out. So yeah, van gone. I'll let you know how it goes. Trust me, there's going to be a celebration if it turns up in halfway decent condition. Oh man, I mean, I can't. It's a commercial van. It's kind of beat up. It's over 10 years old. I doubt that there's much of a market for like parting them out, you know? It's just a whole lot of work. They'll take the tools, they'll maybe use the van in some robberies, because it'd be handy for that. And look, Big Steve would love it, to be honest. It's the van's name, by the way, Big Steve. Big Steve would love it. He'd be like, getting to participate in crimes but not be the instigator. He's just like, I'm just along for the ride. I'm hating this. Oh no. I've still got plenty of gas left, guys. Let's maybe do another robbery. That's Big Steve. He'll probably grow quite fond of his captors. And then when he runs out of gas and gets dumped on the side of the road, I feel for the guy. It'll probably be quite sad for him. He would have got to know his new friends, and they him, but you know, they're not the types to grow too attached. They're just like on to the next. And Big Steve will have his heart broken, and then hopefully fairly rapidly he'll get reported to the authorities, who can then let his best friend know, and that's me, where he is, and I'll come and pick him up, and I'll give him a bit of a rub, and I'll say, Big Steve, it's good to have you back, mate. It's good to have you back. And he'll splutter and misfire our way home, and we'll just take a moment and we'll think about what's happened and how grateful we are. So that's one scenario. That's one scenario that could happen. There's others, but you know, we could water ourselves to bloody death, couldn't we? All right, so let's have a little look at the house. I did some more demo, I think, since last time, where I've taken the wall apart up here. This is all pretty ready. This is a non-load bearing wall, so I can just zip, cut through those. It's going to be pretty sweet. Yeah. Bathroom, started demo. Partial, need to do that there. So yeah, you can see through to the bathroom from the bedroom here. This little bit of wall here is where the vent stack went upstairs for the soil stack. So you got your soil stack and your vent stack, and you need a vent to let air into the soil stack. Otherwise it's like a straw with the one end blocked and nothing will come out, and then you end up with just a big nasty like vacuum. So you need a vent pipe that goes all the way up to the roof to like vent gases, but mostly to let air in, because a lot of air gets displaced and like pulled down as like fluids and solids proceed towards the sewer. They kind of drag, like they create a vacuum behind them, and you need like air to be able to move into that space. And you don't want it to be going in through your toilet or your sink or your sinks, because if air can go in through those places, air can come out through those places, and the air coming out of the soil stack ain't no bueno. So there you go. That's how a sewer system is vented. What else? Van stolen. Health is good. Eating well, exercising, working for a guy at the moment. Picked up some regular work. Might be taking a full-time job with an automotive engineering company as a project manager. we shall see. There's big gaps in my experience and knowledge with that role. I let the guy know I was interested. I had the interview on Friday, but he's gonna get back to me this week, so I'll just wait and see. I'm sort of secretly hoping that I don't get it. I'm really torn, guys. I'm enjoying just how much time I have. I don't enjoy being on the bones of my ass every now and then, and find the financial side of things quite stressful. Being unable to afford things like health insurance and vehicle insurance and, things like that. Cost of living here, once you add all that cost of living here is pretty low. Until you add all the insurances that you need in this wonderful free market system. Thanks, idiots. And then it becomes prohibitively expensive, and you get people that work like 2 or 3 jobs because they absolutely have to, just in order to insure against the risk of ruin, which is waiting around the corner for everybody here, especially in cities like this where, Detroit's on its way up. It's a good place. A lot of lovely people, but it is in many other ways a crime-infested hellhole, and it's kind of a post-apocalyptic wasteland in many ways. I was just really fortunate for a while and then lost sight of that fact. And so, lesson learned. But yeah, all that stuff. So I've got regular work now. It doesn't pay super well, but it's way better than minimum wage, which is something. So I got a pickup job with this guy who owns these 2 old apartment buildings, and they just need all of the work. So I've been doing all of the drywall there, which has been really cool. Just walking down the stairs on my way out of here because it's bloody cold. And we are done. So picked up work with him. I've got a couple of other big jobs coming through, putting a ceiling in for a lady, and might be doing an attic for a friend's neighbour. So there's all sorts of stuff waiting in the wings. So if I don't get this full-time job, I'm not going to be heartbroken. I'll just be continuing as I have. But, yeah. Oh! I think we can leave that there. Yeah, I'll keep you updated about that. So, my mate Aaron helped me lift up the giant solid thing. I can't remember. Did I point out the big giant timber thing that was lying here? Anyway, it turns out it was a piano. That explains why it was so heavy. So look at this thing. It's beautiful. There's these big, I think they're bronze, these big bronze plates that hold all the strings. I'd say it's oak or something. It's just absolutely gorgeous. So I'm looking forward to reusing some of those parts in furniture pieces or maybe artworks or something. Yeah, big old piano that's been slowly dissolving, but there's still, the components are still pretty good. Oh man, it's so cold. I can barely feel my fingers and my nose, so I'm gonna go. But it's good to see you, is what you're thinking about me. But I wish I could see you. And I'm thinking about you guys all the time. And I've got a support network here. It's small. But I've also got like a cosmic support network back home in Perth. And even people that I'm not in touch with super regularly or even at all, you feature in my mind, and knowing that you exist gives me comfort. So just thanks for being cool people, and I wish all the best to you, and I will see you soon. Sooner the better. Okay, I'll sign off and talk to you next time. Bye.